Our consultant is in right now. His name is Nestor Aprecio, and Nestor will be giving us a little bit about what the Canadian system, has to offer to every one of us here who has joined the meeting and who is looking, to come into Canada. So Nestor, I'm going to give you the floor now, so you can just take it from there. So just give me a minute while I make you the host. Like I said, this will be more interactive if we can, put the face to the name, guys. So please, let's see your faces, So Nestor, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Nestor is a immigration consultant, licensed immigration consultant here. Very reputable, is very knowledgeable, especially in the aspect of international student express entry and so on. But for today's purpose, we'll be talking about the admission and the visa process, and then we'll be entertaining questions. Okay, so it will be briefly, but then we'll be entertaining questions. So if you have your questions while Nestor is talking, you can please draft them down or write them down, and then you can start asking your questions. And if you're going to be asking your questions, please use the tool button here by raising your hand, and we'll see it, and we can speak, we can pick, every individual one by one. Okay, without wasting much of our time, I'm going to give the floor to Nestor.
Canada is very welcoming for everybody. It has multiculturalism as at its core. So everyone here, actually, the immigrants are becoming the majority. At any rate, I am Nestor Aprecio. I have a license as an immigration consultant, and my specialty is student visa. Thank you, JTMI, for the opportunity, and to all of you that's here. That's me, I'm a registered Canadian immigration consultant. The main purpose for this webinar is to have a better understanding of the student visa process and the different approaches to the student visa application. Okay. So, student visa is a very tricky thing. It is like a puzzle. It's neither simple nor easy. There's the steps into the process, and the first step would have been the student visa, and then the permanent residency, and then in the end would be the citizenship. The process actually involves the preparation of the document, and the next one would be to select your school, and then the third step would be the acquisition of LOA, or the letter of acceptance from the school. Then the next step would be preparing your finances through your bank statement, or in your case now in Nigeria, you have this NSE, or the Nigeria Student Express. You can do it through your local bank, and it can. Some other countries do it through SDS, or Student Direct Stream. So that's a different process where money is deposited into the banks in Canada. But for NSA, the money is deposited directly in the banking system of Nigeria. So after you get your LOA and the GIC, or the My Bank statement, you go to the process of submission of the application into the IRCC. And then, of course, you go through medical, you go through your police clearances, and then if everything is okay, then you get your student visa approval. Then that's the time, once you get your visa, then that's the time you can fly to Canada. The challenge now coming into Canada in the last few months was actually quarantining, but we're moving into a timeline where the quarantine is no longer needed if you have been fully vaccinated. Now, that's the short process of having the student visa. So what happens then if you get rejected? So there are times that because of the fact that you have a choice between doing it yourself or going through the agency or going through the immigration consultant like me. If you do it yourself and you are not prepared to do it properly, then the chances are there might be rejection because of the fact that you have to know all the laws and the procedures in order to submit a good application where you can get the approval. Uh, Usually, rejection is because of the fact that you don't have the right statement of purpose. You don't have the right financials, or you don't have uh, you have a travel history that is very dubious, and you don't uh, adhere to the conditions of your travel, or for our center country, not only Canada, but also other countries where you travel, wherein you have serious issues with overstaying. So, and then if you have an incorrect program of choice, usually the immigration officer would like to see that you are getting an upgrade of what you already have. But sometimes students, because they think that they can have any program, then they go for something which is lower than what they already have. Like, for example, if you're a nurse in Nigeria and you're coming here and enrolling into a personal support worker, that is a downgrade. So you don't do that. You will have a denial or a rejection of your application. So it is always a good goal to have to add to what you already have, not even to equal what you're at. Like if you are a nurse in Nigeria, you cannot take nursing here in Canada. You can only take masterals in nursing or any development or any anything that could add up to what you already have. So again, it should not be a downgrade. Your study should not be a downgrade, nor equal to what you already have. Now, the other issue would be uh, uh, your anchors are in the wrong place. I call this anchors because when you say that you have relatives or you have plans to go to become permanent resident, at this point in time, you are not uh, permitted to say that I'm going to be permanent resident in Canada after I graduate, because the purpose of a student visa is actually for you to use whatever you have in Canada, whatever you study in Canada, and use it back to Nigeria. So that's the whole purpose of the student visa. So whatever you study in Canada, it should be used in Nigeria, not in Canada. That is the procedures and the laws surrounding student visa. What but if you graduate, then that's another thing. If you graduate with your course, then there's also the postgraduate work permit. I have clients in Nigeria who is having going into school here and uh, going to have a postgraduate work permit. So that's another step into the right direction where you can have your permanent residency. At any rate, please remember, whether you do it on your own or you do it through an agency without a consultant, or you do it through with a consultant, just bear in mind that this study would be used when I go back to Nigeria. That's the whole purpose of the student visa. So uh, so Yeah, right now, if you have any question, I and Timmy, do they have any questions already, or I'm open to the floor for any questions.
Any question, please, like I said, use the raise your hand button on the tool, and so we can pick. We can ask you to, put your question out there so we can answer. So now it's time for question and answer session. So please, if you do have a question, then raise your hand. I have a few people raising their hands up. So I will go with Victor Eze. Victor, please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Victor.
Okay. I'm not really a beginner. I've already gotten the admission in Canada already. I
Okay.
got admission to study computer science, University of Regina, it's called.
Okay.
I think the problem I'm having at the moment is putting the documents together for the visa application. Um, I have the money because I was actually told I was going to pay 500 Canadian dollars as part of the acceptance fee for tuition. You
Right.
know, yes, which I have aside already. But then I'm thinking because my friend who gave me this information was saying there are a couple of documents I need to put together to get these things sorted out properly. And one of the things he mentioned to me, he was saying that I can't be my own sponsor. When he was talking about the proof of funds and all, he said it will not be wise that I, come in as my own sponsor. So that got me a bit confused. So I'm asking, like, how am I supposed to do that? Because I have the funds available, you know, I have the funds available in my account, but I can't, come in as my own sponsor. So it's really quite confusing. So apart from that, what other means, can I use to achieve this aim? So it's really been a concern for me, that area of sponsor proof of funds and the rest. Personally, I have the funds to cater for this whole thing, the tuition, my basic travel allowance and
Mm.
all that.
Not,
But
it's not trust.
um, like he's saying,
Not trust
I
family.
can't be I can't be my own sponsor, so it's quite confusing and I'm really still about that. So
Yeah.
I'm asking, how do I go about this?
So, as a student, you should be on your own. Only immediate relatives can actually help you. The term sponsorship, maybe it's not about sponsorship. It's about showing that you have the right finances to help you through. Because as a student, you are like uh, let's say you have 2 years or 4 years of schooling here in Regina, you say, right? So if
Yes, yes,
you're in for 2 years, then you have to provide money for that 2 years. If you have a relative, but the money should not come but you have said that you have all the money, then there should
yes, of
not be
course.
a problem. There should not be a
Okay,
problem. Uh, if
Oh, so
if you
we
can
should drop.
use if you can use the GIC or the NSA as a, because it can only help you, right? The NSA or
yes.
the Nigerian Student Express can help you
Mm-hmm.
expedite the process, because
Okay.
the the document that you get from my bank, from the banks in Nigeria, that is very good document that can expedite the process, because that immigration would no longer check your amount of money that you have, because you're already providing them. And this NSA is a process wherein it's already part of the system of IRCC student process. So if you send that document, unlike sending them a document coming from your bank, not going through NSA or my bank, or even you can use GIC to Canada, then it's a different process. So I mean, it will take time because they will find time to schedule verification of your money from your own bank. And also, but if it is inside the NSA process, my bank or the banks that are included in the NSA portfolio, then the usual process would only take you 6 weeks. But if you do it on your own bank, then the process can take from 13 weeks to 6 months.
Okay, that's great. So how do I enroll, or get in touch, or how do I contact this NSA? How do I get this sorted out?
You can go through the IRCC website. It's already there. I checked, and it's already there. And you can also
IRCC.
contact your visa office, because this is an initiative done by Lagos office, visa office in Lagos. It started in Lagos. Now it's part of the IRCC program. So it's different from SDS. My country, the Philippines, is enjoying the benefits of joining the SDS stream, which also expedite the process. And from 6 months before, now I have clients who are coming in between 5 to 6 weeks, because they actually go through the GIC process, where their money is sent to Canada to put into a Canadian bank institution. So of course, visa officer would no longer check, because they have the document coming from Canadian banks. The same will be true with NSA. If you have that document from my bank, then you'll be good. So your process would be exponentially cut into 6 weeks instead of 13 to 6 months, between 13 to 6 months.
Oh, okay. Now you made mention of something. I heard you say your bank. So I don't know. Like, is there an affiliation with the NSA to your bank, and then you would expedite the process? So let me get that clearly.
Now, if you go, yeah, if
Nestor,
you, yeah.
Nestor, let me take it here. It doesn't seem to understand. What it means by my bank is for the NSC program, you have to get that my bank stuff from the Nigerian bank. So that's what it means. There's no transaction between the bank here, and there. So the my bank certificate has to come from your banking in Nigeria. Your banking, is it Access Bank? Is it GT Bank? You have to get that from your bank. Okay. Okay. So we'll have to take the next question, please. We have a couple of questions here, please. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Next question is from Oluwaseun. She asked the question. She's saying, is it that one cannot work in Canada after schooling there?
You can actually, as a student, you are eligible to work even without a work permit. You're eligible to work 20 hours per week. So do not go over 20 because you'll be in trouble. So without work permit, as a student in Canada, you are eligible to work 20 hours a week. Okay, so after graduation, if you are enrolled in a public institution which has postgraduate work permit, then you are eligible to work depends on how many years have you gone through schools in Canada. Let's say you are in a program for 1 year, then your eligibility for postgraduate work permit is also 1 year. If you go for 2 years, you will get a 2-year postgraduate work permit too. And if you go for more than 2 years, the maximum that you can have for work permit is actually 3 years. And I can tell you that 2 years is enough work after graduation from a Canadian institution for you to be eligible for the permanent residency visa.
Okay. Thank you, Nestor. The next question is from Emmanuel. I did something, yeah. Adeyemi, yeah. So the question is, how long does it take to get the visa? 3 months or more? Thanks.
The visa can be have different timelines. Depends on what process or how, like coming to Canada, you have to show that you have money. Okay, as a student, the timelines. Being a student, if just for example, you have the money, you pay the school half of the tuition, and then you have the money in your own bank, then the process could take from up to 6 months. Okay, granting that you have no issue with your medical as well as with your police clearances, no issue. Now, if you pay the school in full or half, or you pay school in half and you have a GIC, but you don't have, like, let's say IELTS or anything, because SDS or NSA would ask you to have IELTS, which is band 6. So if you don't have that, the process could take about 13 weeks. Now, if you pay the school in full and you have either go through NSE and you have that my bank statement from any banks that are eligible to be in the NSA profile, or you put your money into Canada through the GIC. So the process could only take 6 weeks. Of course, granting that you don't have issues with your medical and your police clearances.
Thank you so much, Nestor.
Okay.
On to the next question here. From, I'm sorry, these names, they're in short form. Okay. So he said, please, how can I be relocated to Canada with my family, with permanent resident? Is it possible? I am a graduate, of course. Yes. Okay, Nestor.
Yeah, but that is not the topic that we're discussing right now. Yes, it is possible, but depends on your profile. I usually start with your resume. I don't accept persons or clients that I have no way of letting them into Canada. But let's discuss that on a separate discussion, because we should limit on to student visa for now.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So, guys, regarding this, we would try and come up with a seminar some other time for this particular question. But for today, we are actually looking and focusing on admissions and visas. Okay. And the next question we have here is, I would like to know the total price for schools and accommodation.
Oh, the school, the school is around 16,000. Of course, if you go for, there are, like, if you go for healthcare, it will cost you more, but the average is between 15,000 to 16,000. Everywhere you go, it's the same. School is about minimum 500 per month to about 800 per month. You have 3 options. You can, some of the schools have their own boarding school inside. Then they have their own rate, but the rate is a little bit less than outside. But of course, it depends on you, whether you like it or not within inside the school. And you can also check homestay. So homestay is a membership or for only for students. So mostly for students. So homestay are there. If you have issues with safety, then homestay is your thing, because homestay, you cannot be a member if you have issues with, like you're a landlord and you have issues with safety and all that. You can never be a member of homestay. Now, of course, you can always go for your relatives or you go for outside, whether because maybe homestay or school is not preferable for you. You want to be outside. So then the rate would be almost like between 500 to 700, max maybe 800 per person.
Okay, thank you. So the homestay is more like the accommodation. So, and that's going to go for a month. Okay, that's what it's trying to explain there. Okay. And the next question we have from Anifo, she said, I want to go for student visa for Canada. How much should I be looking at for school and accommodation? Okay, he just answered that question this now. So you should be looking at, for everywhere you go, anywhere, you should budget a minimum of at least 15,000 Canadian dollars annually, okay, for your school stuff. And then for accommodation, you could be looking between 500 to 800, like he said, for those within the campus. And for outside campus, yeah, it could be more than that, okay? So relatively, just between 500 to 800, like he said, yeah, on a monthly basis for accommodation. So to the next question, please, how can I be relocated to Canada? No. Okay, Matt, we already said this. This is not under the student admission and visa. This is under the express entry, and this will come up on another webinar we might be scheduling soon. And of course, get a job there in Canada. Okay, this is still under the express entry. Getting a job, yes, as a student you can always definitely get a job. Like Nestor said, you can work 20 hours a week as a student, and then when you during the summer break or during your holidays, you can work full hours. But getting a job, of course, there are so many platforms, and you can always see and apply to. And usually as a student during the summer, there are always vacancies, job openings for students, particularly for a short period that you would be able to apply to. Okay. And so how much is your service charge for processing student visa? Okay, okay, do you want to take it, Nestor?
You can take it. You know my piece.
Okay, Atori, the service charge is quite relative depending on your situation. So we don't have a definite amount or fee, but it depends on what you want to go for, what your size of your family, or whatnot. So for you to get this, please send us a message, send us a DM, and would respond to you. Okay. I was told about family ties. How does that work? Nestor, do you want to take that question?
What's the question again?
Said, I was told about family ties. How does that work?
As a student, as much as possible, you don't divulge any family ties in Canada. As I have said, your anchor should be Nigeria, not Canada. If you have anchor in Canada, then that will jeopardize your application. So as much as possible, the student visa is all your own. You should stand on your own. The moment you tell them that you have relatives in Canada, that's a red flag, because of the fact that, oops, this person might not stay, might not go back to where she or he is coming from. So that's a red flag. So as much as possible, if it is not siblings or parents, just avoid.
Okay, so in other words, if you have like cousins, nephews, and you're saying you have relatives, please, as much as possible, try to avoid that. But if they are your siblings, of course, your blood relatives, you have to declare that, right? That's what he's trying to tell you, okay? Because it's a red flag, your family ties should be extending to your Nigerian counterparts. Okay, so they can show that, so they can know that, okay, indeed you want to go back home after your studies. Okay, I want to ask, what step will I take after collecting international passport? Because I want to school in Canada as nursing. Okay, I will just take this. Basically, once you have your international passport, the next thing is to secure an admission and get your LOA. And nursing, are you going for undergraduate? Are you going for a postgraduate? So that depends on what you're going for. Please reach out to us. It's not as rigorous. It's not a rigorous process. Just let us know. And if you are a graduate, then we'll know you're going to the next level. And then if you are a fresh candidate from high school, so that means you're going to your BSc. Okay, so yes, just let us know which one you would be going for exactly. Okay,
Yeah,
so the next step is just to get.
Yeah, I want to add to that.
Your,
if you have a lot of money, then that's not a problem. Nursing course in Canada ranges between 16,000 to around almost 50,000, depending on institutions where you're going into. So if money is not a problem, then you're fine. What I usually advise my client, wait until you are permanent resident and you can have your day, because when you are permanent resident, then nursing would only cost you $4,000.
That's true. Nursing is really expensive
Yeah.
as an international student. Please take it from me. I'm a nursing student myself. So if you're coming into nursing as an international student, it's pretty much expensive. But I mean, if you come in and then you switch, that is where the second career comes in, and then you can have it way cheaper. Okay, take it from me. So, okay. And so the next question: are there no cheap schools? Okay. Canada is pretty much expensive when it comes to schooling, to be honest with you. And but to be fair, it's always good to just, like we have been saying, have a budget of at least a minimum of 15,000 annually. Canada is not cheap. And however, if you have a scholarship, that would go a long way, you know, and yeah, that would kind of ease the burden of the tuition payments for you. So yeah, if you can get if you can get scholarships, of course there are various types of scholarships, but the only thing is that you have to, you know, apply. You have to check to see if you are eligible for each of those scholarships, and then apply. Of course, but for you to get a scholarship, you must most likely, for most of the scholarships, you must have maybe like a very good 2-1 standing, and or a first class, majority first class, but a 2-1-2 can be very good. And if you have experience in the research area you're going into, or if you have, you know, something, you just have to qualify and be eligible for that particular scholarship you are applying for. Okay, so you have to, you know, search for the scholarship relating to the program you want to come in. That way it will reduce the fundings that you would have to, you know, pay. But in terms of cheap schools, it's quite, Canada is expensive. I'm just going to leave it like that. And said, how much can a diploma cost in IT? And is it possible to process a visa for it? And what's the cost implication? Okay, so it's still the same thing we have been saying. Diploma, postgraduate, you know, graduate, just budget 15,000, okay, annually. It could be lower than that. It could be a little bit more than that. Usually just a little fraction in between, except of course you're coming from management courses that are really, really, really on the high side. Professional courses, not management, professional courses that are really, really on the high side. Other than that, yeah, the cost implication is about 15,000 annually. Yeah, so if you're coming for 2 years, so that means you'll be looking at, you know, 30,000 to show as evidence that you can actually afford that program. Okay. Okay, we will drop our details. Do you undo visiting visa as well? Yes, we do undo visiting visa. Please send us a mail and we would take it from there. Please, is it possible to change one's course of study when you get to Canada? Yes, you can actually change your course of study when you get to Canada. Make sure you already have the admission to go into another, school, because you'll be doing a transfer. And once you do that transfer, you have to let the IRCC know that you have changed your program or your school or whichever one. Just make sure you have an admission sitting at hand and then do the transfer. Once the school accepts you, please notify the IRCC. Okay. Okay, there are lots of questions here and we have about 8 minutes left. What is also the cost implication for a master's course in ICT with visa? It's still the same thing. Whether a postgraduate or a master's or a DAD, please budget 15,000 plus your expense for a year per person, 10,000 Canadian dollar. That's for the expenses, per person, 10,000. So with your dependents, you can budget with additional 4,000 each. And what are the possibilities of scholarship for undergraduate and masters? Okay, I just even said that not long ago. There's so many scholarships that are available. Like on my YouTube channel, I posted some scholarship information there. You may want to go check there. There are different types of scholarship you may want to check. And there are quite a lot of them, to be honest with you. So yeah, it's possible for you to get scholarship for undergraduates, even high school for that matter, and masters, and your doctorate degree. Will I have to declare met source of income for funds in my account? Oh, I don't understand what this means, Victor, but what I'm thinking what you're trying to say is that the money in your account, how are you going to declare it, right? Victor, is that correct?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Yes, you have to declare. You have to be able to declare your income, not like declare it in a way, but you have to be able to show how you got that money. Okay, so let's say, for instance, you are sponsoring yourself, right? You should be working.
Yes.
Right? You'll be able to show that, okay, I'm employed here. You show your pay stubs, you show your taxes, yeah. So you should be able to show how you're able to get that money.
Okay.
Okay. Are there opportunities for advanced diploma students? Means someone that have technical advanced diploma and the age of 45. Well, in Canada, age is just but a number. It doesn't matter how old you are. The most important thing is that if you're going for an upgrade, so whether you have diploma or not, there's school for everyone, okay? The most important thing, you should be able to have a very good study plan, like SOP. That is the major backbone of your application. And that's why majority of the people actually get rejected. And that's why I always, put it to people, you can do it on your own, but look for experts, look for consultants that have been in the industry that can do it for you. That statement of purpose goes a long way. Like if you do not get it right, you would be rejected, unfortunately. Yes, so there are opportunities for advanced diploma students. It doesn't matter how old you are, okay? You can come to school. How much should I have in my account before I proceed for visa application? Now, it depends on the choice of program, like Nestor rightly said. So if you are coming for 1 year, it's expected that you have your tuition fee of maybe 15,000. It could be less or more, like we said, and also have your expense fee, which is about 10,000 per person, okay? So now, yeah, if you are the only person, but if you are coming with your family member, know that the more people, the more funds you'd need to present. Okay, so I'm a fresh student from high school, so that would be BSc. That's correct. Yeah, so from high school, all we need is your WAEC and your NECO. Just send that to us and let us see. And then once we give you a go ahead, we'll ask you to get your scratch card. And then, yeah, and that's it. You get your LOA and then start your visa processing. As a medical doctor in Nigeria who wants to relocate with his family, spouse to continue with his master's, how much will it cost?
I've said healthcare is very, very high. You might be looking around 50,000 and up. So, but that doesn't have to even take account the process of your verification of your documents. It takes a very long time. There is a way for the doctor to come in as a doctor in other provinces. Then, if you want, we can help you with that.
Thank you, Nestor. Guys, we have about 3 minutes left, but we have over 23 messages here. So that means we will not be able to answer everybody. But again, our emails are open. You can reach out to us and we'll be able to answer your questions and take it from there. Yeah, so what am I? I'll just take 1 or 2 questions and then we'll wrap it up for today. What are the chances of getting the scholarships with 2-1? Well, chances of getting scholarship with 2-1 is still okay, but I mean, that won't be compared to someone that has a first class. Then it depends on how strong your 2-1 is, on how good your research and your SOP is, your statement of purpose is, okay, regarding whatever program you are going for, okay. Again, so make sure you have a very strong and convincing SOP, and you have a very good standing 2-1, so yeah, so you may be able to get the scholarship. Okay, and the last question for today, please kindly drop your details so that I can contact you one-on-one for clarification. Okay, that's fine. So I'm sorry, we have over 25 questions here, but we'll not be able to go beyond this today. And if you have your questions, please, we're going to drop the email down here. And please do us a favor and send your questions to this email, and we'll be able to respond, okay?